Up for Urban Perspectives with your host, Pete Rhodes.
Welcome. You're watching Urban Perspectives. I'm your host, Pete Rhodes. This edition is sponsored in part by UCare, Children's Theater Company, and BMA Networks. Thank you for joining us on this episode as we spotlight city projects and attractions. Here's a fact. Over 30 million visitors come to the Twin Cities annually, generating over $7 billion in revenue, and the hospitality industry in the metro employs over 30,000 workers. Meet three amazing people who contribute to the vibrancy of the Twin Cities right here on Urban Perspectives. My first guest was appointed by President Obama to serve on the Minnesota Advisory Board to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. He also serves on the Vikings Stadium Implementation Authority and is the founder and former executive director for the Office of Community and Economic Development and a former member of the Sounds of Blackness Grammy Award winning. Here's a look at Craig Taylor, the current director of the City of Minneapolis Community Planning and Economic Department and the agency.
He held high expectations. Excellence was the only option.
Craig's had a hand in the growth of the MMSDC.
He's very sincere, and he's had the impact on a lot of people because he is genuine.
We are entering a really crucial phase in Minneapolis, both of growth and the need to make sure everybody can participate and contribute to that growth. And he's in charge of a significant chunk of that. So no pressure on Craig whatsoever, but I do know that he's up to the challenge.
Thank you so much, Craig, for being here. We go back a long way. I was going to say a little way, but a long way. And I thank you so much for being here, especially to talk about your new position there at the at CPAD. And I guess I want to just start off by saying our city is booming. I mean, growth is everywhere. And how will CPAD, you think, manage the activity in a way that makes it sustainable for the future as well, Craig?
Well, first of all, thank you, Pete, for inviting me. It's certainly an honor to be here. And you're right, we go back a long way. Yeah. And your work is unprecedented in the community. And we thank you for all the contributions that you've continue to make to our community.
Thank you so much.
Let me just say that I think it's no secret to most of the members of the community that Minneapolis is experiencing exponential growth right now, both in the population as well as in the built environment. However, managing that growth in a very practical, responsible, but yet creative and visionary way is critically important. So for us at CPAD, one of our top priorities is really about the design and building a sustainable, livable, healthy, safe, vibrant, resource efficient, and high performance city. For us, that means certainly focusing on not only the built environment, but focusing on the natural environment as well, which means promoting sustainable growth that is economically and ecologically sound. It also means planning around things such as integrated energy, environment, technology, economic development, and it also means thinking about being more thoughtful in terms of how we leverage policies, programs, and investments to further impact the health of our city.
Well, speaking of that, we have a very vibrant community, and you said it's growing by leaps and bounds, and we have over 80 various ethnic groups in the Twin Cities overall. Do you see CPAD's role playing a significant role as well in making sure that the individuals in the challenged communities are part of this growth overall?
That's a great question, and frankly, yes, absolutely. CPAD needs to spur growth and development in areas where there have been market challenges and disinvestment. That means for us, again, helping underserved populations, underserved communities, accumulating assets, creating wealth, and improving their overall economic well-being. Now, let me be clear in saying as well that meeting these objectives, particularly in areas where where negative perceptions have contributed to market challenges, will be extremely difficult. However, I do know that working in and with challenged communities is certainly central to our mission. One of the many ways that CPAD can help contribute or impact challenged communities, Pete, is certainly by being more intentional innovative and strategic in doing two things. One is simply to leverage the assets and programs of CPED to impact those populations through job creation, workforce development, supporting new business startups, focusing on technology, supporting educational initiatives, supporting technology initiatives that help to eliminate the digital divide. The second one is certainly looking at ways to tap into the underutilized assets in our city's urban core, and assets like vacant land, abandoned homes, boarded up manufacturing plants and warehouses, and looking at creative ways to leverage the economic potential of those assets to help transform and revitalize those communities.
Now, Craig, you've only been there for a very short time, and I know that in your role as CPED, you may have some things that are at the top of your priority list. What is one of them?
Well, one of my top priorities is to position CPED as a leader and an innovator in the space that we work in. Now, that means many things, certainly in my mind, Pete, but first and foremost, it means that we must continue to strive for excellence in the work that we do. We must continue to raise the bar, looking at ways to reinvent ourselves in an effort to stay relevant to those that we're trying to serve. And we recognize that we're in an environment where we're connected to a global economy, and things are changing rapidly around us, of course. And so we have to stay fluid, we have to be adaptable. We also have to continue to evolve in our thinking, using technology and innovation to make sure that we stay on the cutting edge of our industry. And most importantly, as leaders in this space, which I already consider us to be, we have to be visionary, we have to be risk takers, we have to be willing to push the envelope and to reject the status quo and tradition in order to do and create more transformative outcomes in those communities.
Speaking of which, then, who inspired you? I mean, you've been around, you're a member of the Grammy Award-winning Sounds of Blackness, you've been the director and chair of NCMSDC. Who inspired you?
I'd have to say my parents, my mother and my father. They were just good, solid, decent, hardworking people who taught me to just good, solid values and principles. Hard work is important. I've been working pretty much since I was 12 years old. Of course, I'm from Minneapolis, and I think my first job was working at the car wash on Lake Street.
On Lake Street. Everybody worked
Everybody remembers that car wash.
Craig, I really appreciate what you're doing. It continues to excite me on the next level each time, so keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you,
Godspeed,
Pete.
all right?
Thank you so much for your
Craig
support.
Taylor. Thank you, man. Weekly here on Urban Perspectives, we present Shining Stars, highlighting people, places, and events that contribute to the vibrancy of the urban community. Our shining stars this week are actors. Leo James, a recipient of 2 Spotlight Awards for outstanding performances. His credits include Evita, Beauty and the Beast, and The King and I, and Anna Christine Evans. She teaches youth community drama classes, and her acting credits include Alice in Wonderland, Dr. Seuss, and The Cat in the Hat. And they both are currently performing and appearing in the Children's Theater world premiere stage version of Akeelah and the Bee. Meet our shining stars, Leo and Anna.
Hi, I'm Leo James and I play Javier in Akeelah and the Bee.
I'm Anna Christine Evans, and in Akeelah and the Bee, I play Trish, Mohawk Girl, and Horse Girl.
I think Javier brings a really spunky and energetic personality to the Spelling Bees, his friend group with Akeelah, Dylan, and Trish. He just is Akeelah's biggest supporter, and like in the movie, we stay true to having all the funny moments and all the heartfelt moments, and it's really awesome because we get to still have those moments, but we get to, on our own, interpret it as how we would also do it.
With Trish, it's really fun because she isn't in the movie, so I feel like I had a lot of freedom to sort of create her. So she's really awesome, and she has a little list, but she's great. And then with the other characters, you know, Mohawk Girl and Horse Girl, they don't even have names, so they are so much, have had so much fun with them trying to just create these wild, you know, super smart kids that you do see in Spelling Bees.
Being that this is the world premiere and it's the first time that it's going to be live on stage in front of an audience, we really get to play along with the audience, and they're going to be right in the room with us, and it's like they're at the Bee. They get to cheer us on. It's very inclusive of both all the people on stage and all the people watching. It's very much a two-way streak. We feed off their energy, and it's really fun.
To any aspiring actor, my biggest piece of advice would just be to make a big choice and go with it. It's better to go big and commit to something and then always be open to trying something new, because that will go so far in the rehearsal room.
For any aspiring actor who's watching, I would just say, don't doubt yourself, because there really only is one you, and there's nobody like you. So have faith in that what you bring to the table is something that's worthwhile, and that every choice you make really is going to influence the work that you put forth, and that just working hard really pays off.
I'm Anna Christine Evans, and in Aquila and the Bee, I play Trish, Mohawk Girl, and Horse Girl.
I'm Leo James, and I play Javier in Aquila and the Bee. And you're watching
Urban Perspectives.
Anna and Leo, thank you so very much. When we return, meet the artistic director of the only youth theater to win a Tony Award for Outstanding Regional Theater. Hear about the exciting season commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Children's Theater Company. Meet Peter Brosius next on Urban Perspectives.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire, but you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Moving beyond tolerance to allophilia. Allophilia is having a positive attitude for a group that's not one's own.
Support Minnesota's African heritage community.
Stand with the Council on Black Minnesotans.
Visit our website or contact the Council on Black Minnesotans.
There's a place you can go, no matter the age or the skin that shows. We're here for you, all of you. Seniors and kids, come along and join in.
Finally, a place where our children and seniors can interact and learn from one another. Olu Center is opening a new child care and senior day program.
For more information or to register, call 612-824-1142.
That's Olu Center, where different generations come together. Hey! Everything about you, yeah, you are perfect to me. Everything.
Welcome back to Urban Perspectives Spotlight on City Projects and Attractions. My next guest is the third artistic director in the 50-year history of the Children's Theater Company. He's a recipient of numerous awards, including Theater Communications Group Director Award and honors from the Los Angeles Drama Critics Circle. Under Brosius' leadership, the Children's Theater Company established the program Threshold, a new play laboratory that works with leading playwrights in America to create premier productions. Please welcome to Urban Perspectives, Peter Brosius. Peter, how you doing?
I'm good. It's great to be here. Thanks.
Good to have you here. We just met not too long ago. We were there at the opening of that world premiere for Aquila and the Bee, and the cast reception was fantastic.
It's a great cast. We're so proud of this show.
Yeah, well, you guys do a fantastic job over there. What do you think, Peter, makes the Children's Theater Company unique in the space of theaters around the country?
Well, the Children's Theater Company is one of the 25 largest theaters of any kind in the United States.
Okay.
And as you said, we're the only theater for families and multi-generational audiences to win the Tony Award. We're the only theater to have toured to Moscow, Tokyo, Shanghai, Broadway, and across this country. But what I love about us that makes us, I think, really unique is we're committed to early childhood. So we've got programs in preschools across this city and creating professional work. We're committed to critical literacy. So we have a program called Neighborhood Bridges that is in English language learning and schools across this community to help kids become the authors of their own narrative, to tell their own stories. We have our new play program. Our Act One program, creates access for everyone in this community. We have $10 tickets for every single performance. So we got a lot going on.
We got a lot going on.
We got a lot going on.
And it's important that you have a lot going on because we have such a large and vibrant community, and being able to cover just that little niche. That's just one part of it that you're doing a fantastic job in. What inspired you to start the program Threshold? And you've had some fantastic playwrights to participate. Name a few of them and tell us about the program.
Well, I mean, everyone from Cheryl West, who did it, Aquila and the Bee, Nilo Cruz, who won the Pulitzer Prize. We've had Melissa James Gibson, Naomi Ozuka, Lonnie Carter. The list is long and beautiful. I mean, we've got about 15 projects in development right now. It was inspired by the idea that there are too many voices that are missing. There are too many stories that haven't been told, and that there are narratives that are absent that need to be on our stages. Our world is changing very quickly, and it's very important for our audience to see themselves on stage, to hear stories that reflect their experience, as well as to look at the classics and find ways that excite them and look at them in new ways, and give them a new muscle, a new theatricality. So. Yeah, we got a lot of projects in development. I'm going to leave here and
and go do some more.
Do some more, yeah. So we're real busy.
Aquila and the Bee is doing their stage version, world premiere there at Children's Theater Company. It's gotten great reviews. What was the switch that made you make that the play to kick off the 50th season here?
Well. A wonderful young actress in this community, Essence Stiggers. We were in rehearsal on another show, and she said, can I ask you something? I said, yeah. She said, you ever thought about doing Aquila and the Bee? And I'd seen the film. I was like, Essence, that is a great idea. So I went home and watched it, and boom, then we began the process of tracking down who held the rights and how to get it. And we wanted to launch this season with this piece because we think it's an inspirational story for young people.
Yeah, definitely.
It's about community, it's about pushing yourself, it's about following your dream. And it's also about how a community can come together and really support an individual's dreams. And so this is our 50th anniversary, so this is a big deal. And so we've got 5 premiere shows, and this is the first of 5 premieres that are amazing. So
I've seen it. It's fantastic. Now, another fantastic thing just happened the other night at the Emmys. Actress Viola Davis had this historic moment winning the Emmys. How do you think what you guys are doing over there sets the stage for the next generation of Viola Davises?
Well, that's such a great question. I mean, one, we have a wonderful training program. So young actors can come into this program. We have a very strong scholarship program. So we make it possible for those who want to learn to come and learn. And I think what Viola represents is, this country, what's the date they're talking about? 2042, when we're a minority majority.
Exactly.
And if you're working in my field, which is young people, that's 2017.
Exactly.
Those under 12. So one must be making work that reflects and embraces our community fully. And so, and that means not only on stage, but behind the stage. Who are the actors? Who are the technicians? Who are the administrators? How are you transforming your institution so it speaks to the time you're in? So I'm proud of the work that we have in development. We got a long way to go in terms of being the institution we want to be, but we're working really hard at it.
How did you get involved in this, Peter? I mean, everybody has a story. It's short, it's long, I'm sure, and varied, but how did you get?
Well, I was really blessed. My mom was an amateur actress. And so there literally there wasn't a time growing up that I wasn't in a show. And so we're slamming down some food and getting ready to all run off to different rehearsals. And then, later in life, I was really blessed. I got to see the work of people like Luis Valdez of Teatro Campesino, who was making work with the farm workers. And, you saw that theater could talk to a community, theater could speak to a community, and theater could make a difference. And so I've been blessed. I've had a lot of mentors who've inspired me.
You have made a difference and continue to make a difference, I knew the spirit was there when I first met you. Thanks a lot for being here, Peter.
My pleasure. Thanks for the work you do.
Peter Brosius, thank you. Now the Super Bowl is coming to the Twin Cities. Next we'll meet Maureen Bausch, the CEO of the Minnesota Super Bowl Host Committee, and hear how her team hopes to make it the best Super Bowl ever. Meet her next on Urban Perspectives.
Get up for Urban Perspectives with your host, Pete Rhodes.
I love the Twin Cities. Everybody's saying, well, why you go to, from Atlanta to Twin? There's so much to do here, so much, just talent is outstanding. And then the things that I have to offer as far as for business and corporate, I do a lot of corporate events and corporate parties because of my style of comedy.
There are so many amazing people and positive stories in our cities. Watch for them on Urban Perspectives Sunday mornings at 5:30 on WCCO Channel 4.
Hey everyone, if you're a high school student who's interested in audio School for Recording Arts, the place for you design your education.
Think about it. Science,
Technology,
basketball,
or just plain being you. To learn more,
visit us in person or on our website at www.hsra.org.
HSRA, design your own education and be the real you. Family, respect, community, and education.
You're still at it. You still have all the right moves. Still embracing the moment. Still have that sense of adventure. Welcome to UCare. We've been expecting you.
Learn more about our Medicare plans at ucareplans.org. UCare, healthcare that starts with you.
Thank you for joining us on Urban Perspectives as we look at the amazing people behind the Twin Cities projects and attractions. My next guest was named a top 100 marketeer in the nation by the Advertising Age magazine, and she's the former executive vice president of business and development with the Mall of America. Now, she brings extensive experience in creating and building brands, managing large-scale events, marketing, sales, media, and guest relations. We love to have her with us. In this role, as her new role as the CEO of the Super Bowl host committee, she'll lead the effort to showcase the Twin Cities on an international scale. Please welcome to Urban Perspectives, Maureen Bausch. Maureen, how are you doing?
Thank you.
We talked on the phone a couple times and told you what we were about to do. Melvin Tennant suggested I give you a call, and you were jolly on the spot. We thank you for being here.
Well, you're early. We have a couple years.
We got a couple years. Well, we'll have to bring you back. That's
you're
okay.
The first.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much for being here. Let's kick it off by asking, what are the duties so that we will know of the Minnesota Super Bowl host committee in making this new Super Bowl presentation the fantastic event that it will be?
Well, the NFL tells you, first line in the playbook is you can use the Super Bowl or you can just plain host it. And our committee said, let's use it. Let's use it to elevate awareness about everything Minnesota has to offer the world, to attract more highly skilled employees, to attract more businesses, to showcase our vibrant community. So that's our goal as the Minnesota Host Committee. What we are really required to do is to host all of the attractions that the NFL brings to town. They bring, I would say, about $500 million worth of attractions that are so much fun for kids and families, and so, but we have to find homes for them. We have to make sure traffic circulation is good around every Minneapolis, St. Paul, Bloomington, where all of these will be housed. We have to make sure they're secure. And then while we don't control the weather, they would like us to control the weather.
Well, Super Bowl is done in January.
So we have to, so you can't hide February in Minnesota. It is what it is. But we'll have to have plan A, B, and C for weather.
I'm sure it'll work. Now, how engaged, you talked about it, how engaged are local corporations and organizations and communities in this effort behind? How engaged have they been?
They've been absolutely wonderful. That's my favorite part about this job is people have come literally out of the woodwork to tell us about their company. For example, I met with a young marketer from Bailey's Nursery. I didn't know Bailey's was the largest producer of trees and shrubs in the country.
Wow, right here.
Right here. And he said, you know, we consult with the masters and they have an official flower. What is yours? I was like, I don't know what the official flower is. You should. Does the Super Bowl have an official flower? So we chose the endless summer hydrangea because it's grown here. It was developed here. So it's been really cool. And then corporations have been wonderful. The ideas are, we're at 15 is the year of ideas. Next year is the year of planning. But the ideas that they have come up with for us are just amazing. We have some of the best and brightest here.
That's so good. That's so good. Now, you know, some are saying, and I'm sure you heard this, that the Super Bowl, the NFL is getting more from the city than, you know, that they're taking more from the city than the city is not getting as much. What is your take on this, and what will the city benefit from having the Super Bowl here?
Well, there's a number of ways. We've done a very conservative economic impact study on what the Super Bowl will mean for Minnesota and the Twin City region particularly. It's about $400 million in economic impact,
okay.
$64 million in increased retail sales alone. And that's super conservative because we want to beat those numbers. In Arizona last year, they had a $700 million economic impact. Now, in fairness, they had the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl right next to each other, but it's probably both those numbers.
Yeah.
But you'll see more jobs. We need 10,000 volunteers. You'll see lots of our local businesses be hired to do the contracting for this. So that's where that money comes from.
That's great. Now, we rank in all the top scales in livability and diversity. How we make this Super Bowl the most diverse ever?
Well, that's the beautiful part about the NFL, is it is a goal of theirs, and so it's a goal of our host committee also. And they have a wonderful program, that the one that I'm learning most about right now, and I'll learn more as we go along, is the Business Connect program, which is the supplier diversity program.
I see.
And if you are a certified small business, minority-owned, veteran-owned, LGBT or women-owned, you qualify for that Business Connect program, and we'll look for 300 to 400 businesses in that category. Now, they're not all guaranteed jobs, but they are all guaranteed training and development, and the NFL will teach them how to bid, and sometimes
well, you know, it's so much. It's important stuff. We've got a couple years, so we'll bring you back.
Oh, thanks.
Maureen, Bausch, thank you so much for being here, all right?
See, I could go on and on, I guess.
I'm sure. Thank you for watching Urban Perspectives. I'd like to thank our sponsors, UCare, Children's Theater, BMA Networks, my guest, our shining star, and you for the audience for getting up and supporting Urban Perspectives, making it an Emmy-nominated program. And you can visit our website at urbanperspectives.tv for information on our guests and where you can find links to previous broadcasts, and help us grow and post your comments on our Facebook page. Now remember, there are so many amazing people and positive stories in our cities. Watch for them right here on Urban Perspectives. Now I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you next week right here on Urban Perspectives.